over 40%. That is how fast stroke rates have skyrocketed among young adults, turning what used to be an old man's disease into a silent killer of 20-somethings. Last week, that brutal statistic became a horrific reality right next door to my porch when a vibrant 27-year-old father suddenly dropped dead in his sleep. We are living in a society so blinded by the modern hustle that we are now burying our own children before they even get a chance to gray. If you still believe that youth is an unbreakable shield against stress and exhaustion, you are dead wrong. The bitter truth is that the relentless grind is no longer a path to security. It is a fast track to a premature grave, and the body collects its debt without warning. Right across my wooden fence lives a couple in their early 60s. They are good, quiet people who spent their whole lives working hard, dreaming of the day they could finally slow down and watch their family grow. Their proudest achievement was their 27-year-old son. He was a good kid, smart and driven. He had moved to the city, married a beautiful 26-year-old girl, and together they had two sweet toddlers, one just learning to walk, the other still cradled in his mother's arms. From the outside, he was living the American dream. He was building the future we all want for our children. But underneath that successful surface, the engine was running on empty. The pressure of modern life is a heavy, invisible weight. To pay the bills, to keep up with the world, and to provide for two young kids, this young man was pushing himself past his limits every single day. The stress and anxiety accumulated, turning into constant, blinding headaches. Last week, he finally reached his breaking point. He called his boss, took a few days off, and decided to bring his wife and kids back to the quiet countryside. He told his family he just needed a safe place to rest his head and escape the noise of the city for a little while. I remember seeing them arrive. The grandparents were absolutely overjoyed, their faces lighting up as they swept the porch and welcomed their grandbabies. That evening felt so warm, filled with the simple, beautiful sounds of a family reunion. But the young man was still exhausted, holding his temples in pain. Seeing her son hurting, his mother did what any mother would do. She walked down the gravel road to the local pharmacy to buy him some headache medicine. He swallowed the pills, offered a tired smile, and went to bed early, locking his bedroom door behind him. Everyone in the house breathed a sigh of relief, truly believing that a night of deep sleep in his childhood home would cure him. The next morning, the sun rose, bright and clear. The mother spent the early hours in the kitchen, cooking a warm bowl of porridge, pouring all her love into a meal she hoped would make her boy feel better. Around 8 o'clock, she walked to his door and knocked gently. "Wake up, son. Breakfast is ready," she called out. There was no answer. She knocked louder, calling his name again and again. Nothing but a terrifying, heavy silence echoed back. When she tried the handle, the door was still locked tight from the inside. Panic set in. She called out for her husband and her daughter-in-law. With a pounding heart and trembling hands, the old man grabbed a heavy tool from the shed and broke the lock, forcing the door open. The room was completely still. The young man was lying on the bed, looking as if he were just asleep, but his body was already cold. A sudden, silent stroke had taken his life in the dark, hours before anyone walked to his door. In an instant, the world collapsed inside that small house. The agonizing screams of the 26-year-old widow, the confused cries of the two babies who didn't understand why their daddy wouldn't wake up, and the sight of those two elderly parents standing completely paralyzed, staring at their only son. It was a scene of pure, unbearable heartbreak. It was a tragedy that changed that family and everyone who witnessed it forever. As I sat on my porch listening to those cries echo through the neighborhood, a profound shift happened inside me. It was an awakening. I looked at my own aging hands, and then I thought about our children who are currently caught up in the exact same relentless wheel of productivity. We have raised a generation to believe that their worth is tied to their output, that resting is a sign of weakness, and that they must keep running until they drop. But seeing that young man's life cut short forced me to confront a terrifying truth. The hustle we praise so much is a thief. It steals our children's lives, and it leaves us, the elderly, to pick up the broken pieces. Look closely at the wreckage left behind when the silence finally settles in. This isn't just a sad story. It is the brutal math of the modern hustle. On one side, you have a 26-year-old widow holding two babies who will never grow up to remember the sound of their father's voice. On the other side, you have two parents in their 60s, their own bodies already heavy with the weight of the years, now forced to carry the heaviest burden a human being can endure, the casket of their only child. We constantly tell ourselves that just one more hour, just one more promotion, or just one more paycheck will secure our family's future. But the human body does not care about your ambition. It keeps a strict, unforgiving ledger. When you overdraw your energy, the debt is collected without warning. And here is the coldest truth of all. Your corporate job will be posted online within a week, but your family is broken forever. This is where we, the older generation, must find our grounding. We cannot control the frantic, mad pace of this modern world, but we have absolute autonomy over how we guard our remaining days. If a vibrant, strong 27-year-old man can fall to this silent killer, what makes us think our fragile 60-year-old bodies can handle constant, unyielding strain? It is time to let go of the illusion that we must keep running, keep earning, and keep fixing everyone else's problems. It is time to seriously think about retirement, to willingly step back and choose a simpler, quieter path. True wisdom is knowing when to put the tools down. Retirement isn't stepping down from life. It's stepping up for the people who love you. By guarding your health, you remain the emotional anchor your family actually needs. Your living, breathing presence is their true inheritance, not the extra dollars earned at the expense of your life. My friends, life is as fragile as the morning mist on the green grass, here for a brief moment and gone the next. Don't wait for a tragedy to remind you to breathe. Tonight, when the stars come out, close your ledger of worries. Step away from the stress and hold your loved ones just a little bit closer. Take care of your body, plan for that rest, and choose peace over the endless hustle. If this story touched your heart today, please share it with someone who desperately needs to slow down. Until next time, take a deep breath and welcome home to the Silver Porch.